This is the preliminary to the wedding of George and Virginia Wightman. These are guests arriving, dear, dear old friends. I can't think of their name, but this is Virginia Wightman, George's sister, and Hazel Wightman, also a sister, behind the friend on the left I can't identify. Here's there's the bride in the doorway, Virginia Dyer, later Wightman.
We should say that today is actually June 19th, 1983, and this is Sandy Harlow, and this is my mother, Hazel Harlow, but the movie we're looking at is dated November 5th, 1937. Rustle the paper.
Okay. Now that looks like Virginia Henckel.
Do you think it is?
But she arrived as a guest, so it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
The bride and groom in the middle, and then the ushers. The only two names I remember are Bud Bailey and Johnny Ware. But that does look like Virginia Henckel on the left.
Certainly does. Was she a bridesmaid?
Well, we saw her arriving for the wedding. That's what I can't quite figure out, whether she was in it or not.
Are you a bridesmaid here?
No, I wasn't in the wedding, but Ginny could have been.
Okay.
That's the mystery.
That's she. It's got to be she.
That
on the
looks
left.
like Ginny on the
Far
left.
Yeah.
But I thought she was arriving, coming up the walk with me and the other guests.
Mm-hmm.
But I must have been mistaken on that. There's Virginia Dyer Wightman standing alone in her bridal gown.
I love the way they posed her before the radiator there.
Yeah. Well, in those days they didn't do so well on that. It's too bad they've cut off
I
the
know.
top. I think Dorman Hubbard Weaver, our dear, dear family friend. That looks like a friend of Ginny Dyer's, Priscilla, and that
That's
looks
Bill.
like Bud Bailey. No, that's Bud Bailey.
Oh, is that right?
Bud Bailey, one of George's ushers.
Now that's George, isn't it?
And that is George Wightman. No middle name.
Your older brother.
My older brother.
He doesn't have a middle name?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did that with, coming since the Mayflower, there was George Henry Wightman, George William Wightman, alternately. And they got
Right.
to this George, and they decided they were sick of it after 300 years. So they didn't give him a middle name. My father, his father was George William Wightman, and my
that's
grandfather was George Henry Wightman. But then they
Oh.
quit, and he never had a son. So
Okay.
that was the end of that line.
That's true. But we do have a George Wightman. Your brother's Bill.
Well, and I think that they gave him a middle name of Hotchkiss because they wanted to preserve that. Now that is Hazel Hotchkiss Wightman Harlow.
That's you.
Right, turning to go into the.
Where is this wedding? Do you remember?
There's in Hingham.
Okay.
They were married in Hingham, where
Doesn't
Ginny
look like a
Dyer.
very good day.
Well, it may be the black and white and the old film.
Well, I see the trees
Yeah.
rustling in the back. I don't know.
Well,
it
it was
November.
winter.
All right, it's
Right, it was
November
November.
5th, 1937.
Now, the first person coming up the hill here is Dottie
Look
Wightman.
at the cars, too, back
You know, this is 1937, and again, it looks like me on the left. There's a duplicate here somewhere. Bill Wightman on the left, Grammy Wightman. Here comes Grandpa Wightman,
That's your father.
George William Wightman, arriving for
Oh,
young
look at
George's.
him.
Now, see, is that? It looks like Hazel walking in with him,
Yeah,
but I
that's
thought
Graham,
I'd
isn't
already
it?
gone in. Oh yes, Graham, Dottie, Bill. Now I can't figure out who the other person is. Are we coming out now or going
No,
in?
I think this is the bride, or the bride will soon be there.
Yes, well, see, we waited apparently, because that's Dottie, and apparently we just stayed out
No,
there.
that's
This
Bill.
William Hotchkiss Wightman putting on a show. These are the Palmers, my Uncle Dudley and Cousin Betty Palmer. Her deceased mother was a sister of my father.
Oh, okay.
This is Marjorie Morrill, painter, and Mr. Painter. She was a famous tennis player. Here
That's
comes
George.
George, the groom, and I guess his best man, who is, I'm not sure which one he was. I only remember the names of two friends. I wanted to repeat that Dorman Hubbard Weaver, our family's dearest, oldest, best friend, took all these movies, for which we are
Oh, is
very
she the
lucky
one?
to have. These are
Okay.
the Popes, cousins, Miss Ralph, Linda Pope, Elizabeth Wightman Pope, and Lucy Pope, one of their three children.
And what's their relation to you?
Mrs. Pope was a sister of my father.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He had three sisters, and there's Virginia Wightman. Now Henckel. No, she's not. She's got flowers. I think she is in the bridal party.
Okay.
Well, who was
Okay.
that other person who arrived in the
No.
beginning? We'll never know.
Oh, here comes the bride.
Here comes the bride, Virginia Dyer
Dyer was.
Wightman. And there's Jack Dyer, her father, who died very soon afterwards. It was very sad. But she was an only child, so at least he saw his
No, we
daughter.
got
The
that wedding
ceremony's
done, all
over. Here come George and Ginny out of the church. Dormy ran out and was all ready to Take a picture
Oh,
of them
terrific.
driving away. And the bridesmaids are coming out. Now, we've
All right,
moved
new
to
wedding. What are we now?
1938, December 3rd,
All right.
when Ginny Wightman married Bob Henckel, and this is their wedding reception. I think the ceremony was over at this point, and
Yeah,
that's Bob Handley. I'm not sure whether he was the best man or just one of the ushers, but he is certainly Bob Henkel's best friend, so I'm just a little vague on that
Okay.
detail. But he married one of Ginny's best friends from college, and it was very nice. This is Uncle Herb, who was another of Bob Henkel's best friend, who served in the wedding.
Uncle Herb, but no relation.
No, Bob Henkel's Uncle Herb.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Irwin, I think, but I'm not sure. No, not Irwin. Herb, something else. Here's Dottie Henckel. There's George Wightman, brother, and Dottie in the blue taffeta dress. She was one of the bridesmaids.
She looks terrific.
Well, and I can't remember the name of the man coming behind. There's Bill William Hotchkiss Wightman giving his older sister a kiss and bowing to the camera.
There
Now,
she is.
Hazel Hotchkiss Wightman Harlow on the left
You know, that
in
looks
the
a
peach
lot like
dress.
Heidi.
And does it?
Oh, yes.
And then the bride, Virginia, and then the bridesmaid, Dottie, and the other bridesmaid is her sister-in-law, Virginia Dyer Wightman.
Who got married in the last
Who
little
we
segment
we
of the
just
wedding
recently
film.
saw as a bride. Again, Dormy Weaver, our devoted family friend, took all these pictures. Somebody must have said something
Yes.
awfully funny. It was an evening wedding, and the reception
right?
was at our home at 3 Charles Street in Brookline, Mass., where
Oh.
I was born.
All right.
Dottie was born in this house also, and Virginia, I'm not sure where she was born, but George, the oldest child, was born in the big house down on Hawes Street, the one that you know where our grandparents lived.
Oh, is that the one we went to visit that's now the
Yeah, right.
a university?
Right,
Yeah.
Jewish Institute of something.
Okay.
And there again, the bride, Hazel, George, Dottie sitting down, and one other. Now, this is the reception, which was at night. It was very dark. That shows Bill a little bit. The front hall, there was a mirror and a mantelpiece, which you get a little glimpse
do you
of
think
in
that's
these
why
pictures.
It's so dark? And the others were light?
Well,
Were they specially lit rooms or something?
well,
Or
they were lit for the pictures,
Oh,
I
those were the
think.
formal
But this
photos,
is just
okay.
out in the hall, and people were milling around and eating. And
Oh, okay.
now I can see. Now see, there is a bridesmaid there, with a little blue sticking out, and I see
Yeah.
Uncle Ralph. It's impossible to catch much.
It is fairly dark.
It may have been the receiving line. That looks like Grandpa, but you can't be sure. It's just
Yeah.
flitting by. There's Grammy. Now they can get
oh,
that.
yeah, sure.
And somebody in
Second
a
from the
white
right.
coat. And Lucy, I think I
It's a
saw.
little lighter there.
There was that mirror in the front hall, and I
That
think
looks like Bill.
that Bill and Graham.
You know, he's throwing something. It almost looks like the end of the ceremony where they're they're going
Well,
away.
maybe so. Confetti and getting
Yeah,
ready
so
for the
maybe it's
takeoff.
outside and the lighting's not very good at all.
Yeah. And that must be a bridesmaid with a flower in her hair. Okay. Now we're
That looks like
probably.
somebody on the Jungle Gym. Just can you see it? Just
Oh.
okay. Here we go.
All right. Now this was probably in the Joan Wightman Strong and Jane Henckel Hopkins, the two babies there, who are a year or two old, were born in 1939 and 1940, respectively. In this
Okay.
picture,
Those are the kids.
respectively, this was 1941, and they're on Graham's porch outside her bedroom at 17 Suffolk Road in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, where she lived from 1939 until her death.
Which was 74, wasn't it?
70-something like that.
Something, yeah,
Here is
okay.
Hazel Wightman Harlow on her wedding day,
All
March
right.
28, 1942.
Beautiful.
The bridesmaids, first Dorothy in the yellow, Dorothy Wightman, Peavey Hood.
Was she your maid of
Virginia, no, the two maids of honor.
Okay.
Matrons, I guess. Ginny Wightman Henckel, and then in the yellow. Then sitting in the blue was Molly Harlow Grew, who's now on the right of the three girls coming down. My college roommate, Mary Thatcher Worthen Morton, and Helene Messaspiria was behind her. This is Dottie Wightman.
Boy, they go fast,
Grammy
don't they?
Wightman in the blue dress. That's her wedding dress. She wore it to every child and every grandchild's wedding.
Did she really?
For
It was the same dress?
Yeah.
Oh. There's George.
Now, George gave me away, so he went to the church with me and Graham. Now the ceremony is over. We're coming back. We're coming up
that's
the front walk at Suffolk Road because
Sure.
the reception was held at Suffolk Road in
Oh,
Chestnut
okay.
Hill, where Graham lived. Albert Mason Harlow Jr. and Hazel Wightman Harlow. And then the ushers here are Eddie Grew, Molly Grew's husband,
that was Eddie Grew?
and George Bernard.
Gosh.
And this is Bill
Bill.
Wightman and
Yeah.
Bob Henckel,
Bob
the
Henckel.
two
And
brothers-in-law.
there's Bill.
And
Dad's
there's
brother
Bill
Bill.
Harlow, who
Very briefly.
Dad's only younger brother, who was killed in the Coconut Grove disaster. This
Okay.
is Joan Wightman, now strong, at the age of probably 1941
Yeah,
or
I
2.
think we said this is
Yeah.
Chestnut Hill in
41.
1941.
Graham was crazy about cats. There's a tiger.
mother.
We saw Peppy. There are George and Virginia Wightman with their firstborn, Joan, in Chestnut Hill. Beautiful little girl. Beautiful young woman.
Yes, she is.
She's, of course, 40 now.
Oh,
44.
gosh.
She was just adorable. I am her godmother. There's Grammy.
Oh, is that
helping-
right? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, your grandmother Harlow, thought it was so dumb to make aunts godmothers because the aunt's going to look after them anyway. She said, get somebody outside the family. But I'm also Jane Henkel's aunt, godmother as well as aunt.
Is that right? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
But I think your grandmother Harlow had a good point. I'm not sure whether this is still in Graham's yard.
Oh, yes, it's the same day.
Yeah.
Ginny has the same sweater on, but
Yeah.
the color, the picture color after 42 years just amazes me.
Yeah.
Now, this is another day.
This
I
is in
think
Pomfret, Connecticut.
Okay.
At
okay.
Dormy Weaver's farm. Dormy is the
alright.
one that took all of these films and was a devoted friend of Graham's and our family and all of us for many, many years until her death in 70.
Now,
something.
is that your sister,
That
Virginia?
looks like Virginia Henckel,
With
who
a
was a
matching
great
dress.
seamstress, and she made the matching dresses for herself and the
This is Jane?
Jane Henckel,
Okay,
who was
Jane.
born on leap year day in February 29th, 1940, and was
Who else
now
is
a year or two. I haven't. It looks like Bill Wightman in the water.
It does, yes.
And the other person, it might be just a friend or neighbor.
Did they have a swimming pool there? That looks like a very
Well,
large.
Mrs. Archbold had a swimming pool, and
Who is she?
she was a friend and neighbor of Dormy's there in Pomfret, Connecticut,
Okay.
who wanted to run some sort of tennis camp, or there was some big deal going on. And I think that's where the pool came into the picture.
Okay.
Now, this is, I'm not sure whether it's Jane Henckel or not, or whether we've left Pomfret.
It said this Scarsdale is next, but I'm not sure.
Really?
if
Well,
this is. The same dress though. She's wearing. The
Well,
same
but
dress.
now the child is in a red corduroy suit. No,
Yeah.
I think this may be back in Scarsdale. They lived in an apartment there until after all three girls were born.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think this might still be Jane Henckel,
I think you're right.
back in Scarsdale. Red or orange, we can't tell with the...
Hello.
Hello. And Loyal Dormy is there with her camera again. Look in the distance. Well, I think this is the apartment house. They lived in there.
Okay.
They
and this
lived
is
in
a
an
little
apartment
playground
on
out there.
Garth Road until they took back the house that Bob had grown up in when the girls
Oh,
were a
is that
little
what
older.
is that what they're living in now?
Oh, yes, it's the house Bob Henckel was born
I
in.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You see, when
great.
they got married, they got an apartment, and then after the kids were born and they needed more space in their family, his parents were really kind of tired of the big house, and so they just swapped. The older folks went into the apartment, and the young
Oh,
couple with
isn't
3
that
kids
great?
took the house.
Sure.
And they're still there. So Bob Henckel is living in the house that he was born in 72 years ago. Yeah, this is still, I'm pretty sure, Jane, because
Yes.
Nancy, the second child, was blonde, and you don't take so many pictures of the second child as you do of the first.
You're going to pass that on as advice, huh?
Well,
I'll
not
bet
advice.
We do.
Well-
I'll bet we don't take as many of the third.
Well, it's just law of, there just isn't time.
No, of course not.
And, of course...
Of course, she has a tennis racket. I'm
Yeah.
sure of that.
No, Janie was very cute as a baby, and it was great fun to have the two of them. They were quite close. Let's see. Joan was
and-
born October 1st.
Oh, Jane and Joan, you mean?
Yeah, Joan was born October 1st in 39, and Jane was born February 29th in 1940. So it was 4 or 5 months between.
Okay.
But that was pretty close, and the first 2 grandchildren.
Well, I think there's some pictures coming.
Now we're down in
Yes.
Hingham again,
Okay.
and we have Virginia, Dyer, Henckel, and Hazel, Hotchkiss, Wightman, Harlow playing with Joan and Wendy.
Oh, this
And
is
Grammy's in
that's
the
right.
background.
This is Wendy's first appearance here.
Yeah, the house was at 22 Bremer Circle Road in Hingham.
Is that another
Gra-
Peavey?
Well, they had taffy. They've always had the original taffy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but this must be another one, the white one.
Maybe this is the Wightman's or George and Ginny's cat, as opposed to Graham's.
No, but they had one of Graham's cats.
Oh, I see.
So
what
they
you
may have
mean.
had one beside.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
okay.
Wendy's first appearance, and the nice weather-beaten
Now this
house they had.
this says
1940.
Yeah, it says 1944, November 12th.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
It would be Wendy's first birthday.
Now
She
is
was
that
born-
Joan behind her?
Yeah, that's
So
Joan.
she's growing up.
Joan's now 4, and Wendy is just probably a year or 2. No, if it's Wendy in the swing, she looks only to be 1.
44.
Wendy was born in 43. Yeah, that's right. Wendy'd be 1 year old.
Okay, but Joan.
Joan would be 4. It
Okay.
looks older than 4. I agree with
Yeah.
you. No, 5. Joan would be 5 in
Okay.
44.
Okay. Oh, I love that coat. Look at that fur
The,
coat.
the mink coat, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ginny in the mink coat, and
There's
Graham in her
Graham.
Red Cross uniform. You saw on the other sleeve. It's got in the other
does it have
picture.
the symbol?
Yeah, it's got
Oh,
the Red
great.
Cross symbol. And she did so much work for the Red Cross all those years. Yes, this is definitely Joan and Wendy. This,
Yeah.
the two.
Sure, this is Hingham, and you're there.
And there's Hazel, Hotchkiss, Wightman, Harlow following behind,
Now, this
devoted
is
aunt.
1944.
1944, 22 Bremer Circle Road, Hingham, Massachusetts.
Is Dad
Georgia.
overseas?
Look, see? So on her left arm, see
Okay.
the Red
oh,
Cross
the Red
insignia?
Cross, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dad was in Brazil.
So who took these? Was this Dormy again?
Dormy, there was nobody. We wouldn't have any of these pictures if it weren't for Dormy and her devotion to our family, to Mother and to our family.
Isn't that great?
They had a little paddle court there, but it doesn't show up much in these
Oh,
pictures.
I remember that.
Yeah. Now, there's that George walking besides.
There's you.
Yeah. Jones almost 5. That
Yeah.
fits.
Okay,
Now
this
we're
is
back
Suffolk Road, I
back
think.
to Chestnut Hill,
But
70 Suffolk Road. We have the
Same group of people, though.
well, some a Grammy, and then Bob Henckel, or is that
No,
George?
no. Oh, now there's
Well, everybody was there. There was Bill Peavey.
That's
There's
George,
and
Joan.
Joan and Wendy.
Okay, now that's Bill
That's
and
Bill
Dottie.
Peavey and Dottie. Now this
Ooh.
we could be getting.
It still looks like Joan.
I don't think we've got Ginger
There's
yet. We got
Graham,
a number of
course.
cats, so we
Yeah.
know where we are. That's Joan.
Yeah.
I guess the other one is Wendy.
It's two. It's
Now
not,
this is me and Bill Peavey and Dottie. Oh, it had changed quickly to another group.
There's 2 kids. Obviously, there's Joan and
It's-
Wendy.
it's
the
Joan
question
and
is
Wendy.
whether or not Bill Peavey's around yet.
Well,
Is that-
I was sure. You
I
think
don't
it was
see
Dad?
any Henckels. No. No, I don't think so. I think they're the only 2 kids. Joan and Wendy.
Yeah. Well, this one, see, I haven't seen them. Now, is that George? No, that's Bill.
No, I think that's George.
That's George. But that's Bill Peavey
yeah,
on
Bill
the right.
Peavey, sure.
All right, this is when Bill and Dottie were about to get married, perhaps. At 1944, they were married in March of 1944.
Gosh. This says fall 1945. I'm not sure.
Look at that white cat. Isn't that cute?
Oh.
That's all right. Fall 45. That would be after they were
Okay,
married.
now a new scene.
Oh, we're back in
All right,
Scarsdale.
Okay.
Jane
okay.
Henckel and Nancy Henckel and Bob and Virginia Henckel. And I guess maybe some other Henckel relatives.
Is it foxes or something?
Well, here in
There's
at the end,
Grammy,
we're,
of course.
we're Dottie and Bill Peavey
Okay,
and
let's-
Grammy. But now this is all Henckels here.
Yeah, that's Henckels. Now that'll be.
This is
Nancy around here
Scarsdale.
yet? Do you think that's Nancy?
Yes, that's Nancy in the pink.
Okay. And Jane.
And Jane in the blue.
Look at
Well,
Graham.
I love Graham's hat with the feather.
Okay, here comes
I-
the parade.
Now, I don't...
There are the Henckels and the Peaveys.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
not-
there's one more person. Who's in back?
Well, maybe it's some Henckels. It's not foxes.
No. Okay.
Cross the foxes out, at least at this point.
Okay. Okay. Now that's.
That's Nancy all
Oh.
over. Oh, there's no question about that. Now we're around to the big reunion when we had
Okay.
the 4 babies in 1 year.
Oh,
this
is that what you did? All right,
yeah,
there's
this is
Dad and
after.
you.
Yeah,
and
Bill and Dottie, and then Grammy
Bill.
with Bill Wightman.
Now Bill's not married yet.
No.
Okay.
So this is 40. Let's say 40.
7.
Five.
You think this could be?
Well, we can figure out for the age of the children. There's Heidi. It's 47.
Yeah. This is June 22nd,
All right.
1947.
Now Joan
Oh, look at
and
that.
Wendy.
That's
and
probably
you
Bill
see,
Peavey, I think.
we've got all the we had 4 babies in 1 year.
Oh,
Barbara
okay.
Henckel, Bill Peavey Jr., and Heidi Harlow, and Ginger.
Oh, is that okay?
All four of us produced a baby within a year, except Bill, who wasn't married yet.
Look at this.
Isn't that marvelous? Bill, Peavey, and Dottie, George and Ginny, and Ginger, and then that was start again. Dottie and Bill Peavey and little Billy Peavey, George and Ginny Wightman, and Ginger.
Probably.
That's
holding.
Ginger. That's the
Yeah.
baby.
Now, is that Ginger she's holding right there?
Yeah, Ginger was the
Okay.
baby at that point, and then it showed Mason and Hazel Harlow and Heidi. Now we're
That's
zeroing
still
in.
Ginger. And now
Yeah.
that's Joan, right?
Or Wendy. No, I think that's Wendy holding Joan. There's the whole family.
Okay.
George and Ginny and Joan, Wendy, and the baby, which was Ginger at that point. You know, see, Joan is, Wendy's grown up a lot since
Yes,
the
she
last
really
picture.
has.
Now we have the Peavey family together,
All
Bill
right.
and Dottie Peavey and Bill Peavey Jr. Or is he the third? I can't keep it straight, or the fourth. I can't remember what this Bill Peavey's father's name was. But this is obviously Easter,
Okay, now
maybe.
this is
Henkel's, Bob and Ginny Henkel, and Jane, Nancy,
on
and
the
Barbara
left,
Henkel
and
is the
Barbara
baby.
on the right.
The Barbara Henkel that later became very famous with Sports Illustrated.
Right.
Now
There's
we
Dad.
have the Harlows,
Mom?
Mason and Hazel
Is that
Harlow,
Heidi?
and Heidi.
Oh, look
It
at
was-
Heidi.
Heidi was about probably
Just a
8
year.
or 9 months.
Well, June of 47, she was born
Yeah.
in August of 46, so that's,
Yeah, 9 or 10
9
months. She was a very sober-looking child and very fat. Now we
there's
had
Bill. And now who's that?
That's Mrs. Atwood, dear, who gave me the ring.
okay.
She and her husband were our neighbors on Charles Street. They're with the Henkels and with the Mason Harlow behind there,
Okay.
just escorting her to the car. She was devoted to us kids and our family, and they never had any children of their own, and they were just the
Okay.
loveliest old couple. And now that looks like Nancy Henckel. I think we must have gone, I don't know where. Are we still in Chestnut Hill?
Well,
well,
we've
the-
shifted.
Oh, no, this is Nancy and Barbara. Look, there, that's Nancy on the right. So these are Henkels.
Okay, maybe we're up to here now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Billy Peavey in his
You
carriage.
sure?
I'm sure of that.
Okay, okay.
But whether we've left Chestnut Hill or whether this is still the same weekend, you know, with the...
Yeah, you can't be sure.
And the fact that it's black and white, whereas the others were colored. There are the Peaveys, Bill and Dottie and baby Peavey.
All right, now this is maybe in the Pomfret in 1948.
No, this is still that same time. Bill Peavey's just a baby. He was born in 46 or 47.
Oh, he's Heidi's age.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
one of those 4 babies in the same year. No, we're still back with, I
You
still
think
haven't,
we're still in Chestnut Hill?
yeah, with that tree. Maybe not.
Where
But-
were they living? Where were the Peaveys living?
They lived in a 5-flight walk up in Brooklyn.
Oh, did they? Brooklyn,
Yeah.
New York?
Yeah,
Not Brookline, Massachusetts.
no.
Okay.
Now that looks like Grammy's again. Uncle Bill. Now these are some foxes. That's a fox child, that boy.
Is
But
that
Jane
Jane?
Henckel is
Okay, Jane's pushing.
maybe pushing. There's Grammy. That looks like Heidi in the. No, but there's not much. Is there that much difference between Jane and Heidi? Well, it's just one fox kid so far. I can't figure out whether that's Heidi in the stroll. I'm pretty sure that's Jane. It could be Barbara. Now
Okay.
that looks like Ginger. Do you think we've gotten that far? Yeah. See, that's Ginger going to see her sisters, Joan, Wendy, and Ginger.
So we're back in Hingham now.
Maybe Hingham or Graham's with the stone fence, but the 3 of them. And there's George Wightman. So this is
That's not Chestnut
now
Hill.
this. Now we're back to Chestnut Hill. This is Dottie and
Okay.
Bill Peavey and Graham, and
Yeah.
there's Billy Peavey. This is 48. Now
Okay.
you're 48.
All
You
right.
see, he's 2.
Okay, yeah.
They moved to California, but not that soon. No. They were still in Brooklyn or they were in Westport. But
Okay.
anyway, they were at Graham's. I don't remember all those yellow flowers. Aren't those nice? Grammy Wightman and Bill and Dottie Peavey. Now, this could be Ginger. And that's Heidi.
Oh, dear.
That's
Heidi Harlow.
Heidi Harlow in the middle swing.
How about that?
Heidi on the left. I love to keep her in pinafores. And Joan and Wendy on the ladder, and Ginger, I guess, on the right.
Okay, so we got the 4 girls.
That's who those 4 girls are. Look, is that Joan, how she's grown? Or Wendy? Yes, they've grown.
It
all-
must be, because,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
that's
Heidi,
Wendy.
Joan, Wendy, and Ginger.
Oh, now who's that?
That is the most beautiful boy in the world. His name is Sandy Harlow. Look at that hair. You
Oh,
couldn't
dear.
miss him if you tried. Oh, Marilyn, you have to see this precious baby.
That's Heidi, and who's that pushing her? Do you know?
I missed it, dear. Now that, see, I'm even down
I
here.
think
I'm
that's Ginger.
Yeah, I think maybe it's Ginger. It is.
Yeah.
It's Ginger. You can almost tell.
Okay.
We may be down at Hingham at this
Hingham,
point.
I think so.
Heidi on the right in the swings, and then Joan, and then Wendy. But Ginger over by the little blue high chair. Well, now wait a minute. And the baby's Sandy. You're in front there.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's you.
All right.
Now, those are the three Wightmans together in the matching dresses. The two yellow dresses matching. Oh, Ginger's very cute. I'd forgotten that. Isn't that adorable? The three girls and the doll.
Oh, dear.
Those are all Wightmans, and we're probably in Hingham at this point.
Okay,
now,
there she is,
there's
Mom.
Hazel in the yellow dress.
Like George sets to play tennis.
Yeah. And Sandy sitting on the grass looking
Okay.
beautiful. He was the most beautiful toddler there ever was. No comments about how he looked when he was born. George and Ginny Wightman
Where's
and...
Heidi?
Well, she was right next to me.
Oh, okay.
I was too
Right,
busy
right.
identifying the others. Now she's beside me. But
Okay.
now, see, I guess I'm straightening out Heidi there in the blue pinafore.
Okay, she's on the left.
Right, on the
All right.
left now, but the three Wightmans are... Now she's got her finger in her mouth. See, Uncle George is tossing Ginger around, and Wendy and Joan. Now I'm picking up Sandy.
All
We'll give
right.
him a little boost.
Hey, that sounds
I'll
good.
take them for a walk.
All right,
Things are getting
sounds
rough.
good.
And Ginny Dyer's got those.
Oh.
Now, this is 3510 Inverness Drive,
All right,
Chevy
this is
Chase,
Washington.
Maryland.
Oh,
This
okay.
is Washington,
And
D.C.,
that's
and that's Heidi watering the
All
flowers.
right, and there.
Dormy came down,
Did she
loyal
really?
Dormy, and took these pictures. And there's Sandy on the side of Daddy's favorite chair. And there's the rocking chair, which we still have in the cellar.
Is that right?
Oh, yes, we're not parting with that. It doesn't look quite as nice as it did when it was new. Heidi's sober look. You see, she didn't smile too much at that age. She was very sober and serious.
Oh.
And Sandy standing next to Heidi
Look
in
a
his
little
blue
bewildered
overalls.
there.
You know, this is the backyard of 3510 Inverness Drive, and Heidi went there this year, had Joe
Oh,
take a
that's
picture of
right.
her standing in front of that house. That's the Harris's house you're looking at.
Okay.
You're in our yard, but looking at the... Now Heidi's helping Sandy to wave to the camera.
This is
See how sober they look. They're just not used to this.
Inverness Street
Yeah,
in Chevy
Inverness.
Chase?
Yeah.
Now, was I born? Did I come to this house first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was Heidi?
Yeah, and Heidi too.
Heidi, too.
We bought the house in 1945 or 6, and then Heidi was born there, and you were born.
There she is. Heidi Harlow.
Let's see.
Mrs.
That's
Blue?
Mrs. Patterson
No.
from across the street.
Got that out. There she is. Look at Heidi.
And look at that meatball.
And who's the meatball?
Drinking as usual.
Tremendous.
That's me.
Tremendous, Peter. Hey, Dad.
Dad
How much
looking-
hair?
Buzzhead.
No mustache, but the bow tie.
This must
Oh,
be
Tyler
the
said-
late 1950s, don't you think?
Well,
Oh.
how old is that meatball? There's Mr. Blue over on the right.
See
Now
it?
that's 64 Cedar Lane. That's before it got
tough
renumbered
break.
479
There you go,
Cedar
watch
Lane.
this swing.
Putts like
What a
Jack
champ.
Nicklaus, doesn't he?
What a champ. Or a chump.
He's still got that glass of water. You notice there's let's see. Oh, that's the front yard. See the That's Cedar
not
Lane out
grown
there,
up.
isn't it?
Where's that
Yeah.
pine tree?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, look, we still had birch.
That's it there.
You think so? Here's Mom.
Oh, doesn't she look nice?
Today is what is today? It's October 26th, 1986. Yeah. Heidi, you look so comfortable there, and so natural in that outfit too. You know.
I guess we had all had on our summer dresses.
I
Yeah.
think this might have even been 1960.
Yeah, it could be.
Because
You were 12.
60, no, I was 14.
14. That's right.
So
was.
I think
Yeah,
you were 12.
that's right.
And
What-
Peter was...
Obviously had not reached intelligent age yet. It's tremendous. This is called Make Something Happen
This
for the
is
movie camera.
Dad staging, I have
Yes,
a feeling.
that's right.
In fact, he must be taking the shot.
Yeah, he
'cause
is.
There's Mr. Blue.
That's right. That's right.
He's about
Heidi
to
the
lift,
gorilla.
deadlift about 250 pounds.
There's Mom going to get the Snapdragons. Let's fill this scene with some action. There she is. What a walk. Miss America.
Oh,
here we
now
go,
Here we
tennis.
have some sports.
That's right.
Some
I think
badminton.
this was the only time.
Oh, no, tennis,
I
you're
think
right.
this was the only time we hit tennis balls back there, wasn't it?
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. I think
Where is
it's your
this?
backyard. See, there's the porch right there.
New Canaan?
Sure.
I thought that was a road right there.
Oh, no. This is the backyard tennis court. Good shot, Heidi.
Good
Your
bounce
backhand,
on-
yeah, needs some work. Look how low that field is between the
Yeah.
two houses.
That's
Now it's a,
Jungle.
yeah, it is. It's a complete jungle.
Definitely we're into the early 60s now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'd like to know who I'm playing.
Peter, you'll see him in a minute.
This could explain.
There he is. Now, how's this?
The racket is as big as he is.
Yeah.
Now we're going to see some good play.
It's not a bad shot.
What a swing.
Not bad, not bad. He's not too bad on the forehands. Look at that star.
He is quite the tennis player.
Indeed.
Or the
That
dancer.
follow through.
There he is.
Uh,
Are we going to read now?
No.
Or is that chocolate?
Peter's tired after a long game of tennis.
I think that's right. What a hot dog.
Now, these
more.
are true
Just-
beauteous shots.
yeah, now look at the serve.
This
You
is-
see, you still put more energy into your, backswing than into the serve itself. Hey, now this is
Was-
world-class
was that-
track
was
here.
that
Look.
This is very smart.
Oh, dear.
I like this high jump.
Isn't that something else?
This is
That's
quite
Dwight
the high
Stone's
jump.
here.
Oh, nice.
There's the
Oh, boy. That's really quite the shot.
Olympic quality, you think, Heidi?
Yes, and it keeps getting higher. This is very smart.
I think the film was running to the end. Now, who's that? That little girl?
Claire from
Oh,
Bishop.
Bischoff.
Claire
That's Bischoff. Yeah, that's
Ted's-
right. That's right.
Ted's
Ted's younger
sister.
sister. Okay. Oh, who is that? Now, this is at the Blues over in Kimberly
Okay.
Place in New Canaan. Look at Peter.
And look at the
Check
hot
out.
dog trying to slam dunk his brother.
Here's more action.
Is that Mom?
Yeah.
Shot.
Oh, yeah. Sure. I think it ends pretty quickly. Oh, this is Heidi in the Gift.
Mm.
Heidi in the Gift.
That's the dress my French family made for me.
Oh, that's right. When you were
This must have
overseas
been
for a
after-
summer.
we must be into 64 now.
I think that's right.
because
And I
it
think
came
this is
out in
at the Blues
63.
Factory. I think it's that brick building over in
Wax
Stanford.
Factory
Yeah.
That he has.
Yeah. I think we're going to be over pretty quickly
Oven
here.
factory.
So she's,
That's right. That's right. It's ovens. EB Blue Oven
Oven,
Company.
right.
Sure.
Uncle Bill was boxed.
Sure. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Very good.